welcome to this cruise vlog. Today is Wednesday morning. It's around about 5:15, 5:30 in the morning, Wednesday the 8th. This is just going to be a bit of a review of yesterday, my own personal one. I did one with Alan yesterday, so check that log out. Just give you a little bit of a rundown of what happened yesterday. First of all, start off with the temperatures and stuff like that. Just give you a little bit of background. Me and my family, we travelled from Adelaide to Sydney to board Radiant to the Seas to do 11 night New Zealand cruise. Stopping through the Sounds, Milford, Duffield and Dusky Sound. Then on to Dunedin, Akaroa, Auckland and Bay of Islands. So, alright, start off with it. Yesterday, Adelaide had a high of 22 degrees centigrade, and when we got into Sydney it was a bit cool, but by the time we left it was a bit warm and 21 degrees. Sunrise for yesterday, it was 6:09 in the morning, and sunset was 6:59 in the evening, Sydney time. Just give you a bit of a rundown of what's happened with everything, how everything went and ran the whole day. How we first started it was we had, so I'm just trying to think about it, still trying to get over the fact that I'm here on Radiant to the Seas. It's been a long 18 months of hard work and savings to get into this cruise. We've been waiting for this for a very long time. Both me and my family have been wanting this holiday for a very long time, so it's a well-earned break. And I'm just a bit, just thinking what to do, and stuff like that. So, first things first, we booked a Tasmania bus from in Adelaide to pick up 2 other lots of people with us, which was pretty good. They were on time. Picked everybody up. They dropped us off at the airport at the best time we can. I think by the time our flight was at 9 o'clock in the morning, so by the time we got all picked up and dropped off, it was just before 8. By the time we got through security and everything, it was around about 10 past, and so we had to wait. 8:30 was boarding. Flight was pretty good until we got into Sydney, until we started coming down to Sydney, and that was a bit rocky. That was a little bit of a bumpy ride. I've had some bumpy rides, but that was pretty bumpy. For about, we pretty much had a really bumpy ride for about 10 minutes coming in, which is fairly unusual for what I think of Sydney. I mean, I've flown many times in Sydney, and I think that's the worst I've ever had a bumpy ride. So that was a bit fun. Collected our bags, went to ready to go. I know some people online have given bad reviews to them, but if you are willing to pay that little extra money and get yourself a private charter, a whole lot worth it. If you use a share service, yes, they're gonna go buy a plan which is efficient for them. So if it means that they're going to go out further, and which are the closest to your destination is the closest to the airport, they're going to drop you off last before they go back to the airport. We experienced that once before when we did a shared service with them, and this time around we decided to do a private charter, paid a little extra, and it was well worth it. Got there, gave the guy the ticket and booking number, gave it to him. Within 40 minutes we were at the port, and dropped off our luggage. If you think about it, it was a porter there that was stapling all your luggage tags that go onto the actual ship, and that was quite handy because we forgot a stapler to staple all of your luggage tags that go on. So went through that. As soon as you go in, you got to show your sail pass and your passport, and go in. And we were quite surprised. By the time we got there, it was just about 12 o'clock, so it was really good. And we got there, went straight up to the second floor. Because I'm a gold member, you get a priority check-in. So as soon as they recognised I was a gold member, yes sir, right there, through there, went straight through, right up to the one counter. I had to wait a little while because the person that was doing it, not necessarily the person behind the counter, the person who was retrieving the cards, and I had to go back 2 or 3 times because somehow they stuffed up our names. It was a bit odd. Finally we got it in the end. The other people who were travelling, because they were trying to push people through so quickly, they got not kind of separated, but they were a little bit ahead of us, not much, but you know. And then we had to go through customs. Customs was a breeze, less than 2 minutes. It was fantastic. That was easy. Security, the final check-in before you go in, that was a little bit of a wait. Even though we got priority check-in, at first what happened was the lady there, we showed our cards, C-Pass, and we showed it to her, and she just ignored the fact that I was a gold member. And I'm not being a snob or anything like that, but there were other people who were gold members and were going in the priority check-in line. So I asked her, and I said to her, look, you know, I'm a gold member, do I get priority or not? Yeah, you do, sorry, I didn't see it. Genuine mistake. That's fine by me. I'm happy that it was that. It was a little bit of a wait even on priority check-in, but you know, all up, I reckon it was about an hour before we got into on board the ship. We had a little bit of a look around, and then we head straight up to Windjammer's Cafe and had some lunch. At that time, it was just after 1. By the time we stuffed around with everybody, it was nearly 2 o'clock before we got into our cabin, and we dropped our bags off. Then we did a couple of housekeeping things for ourselves. We went to guest services and got rid of our gratuities. And I know some people will say, oh, just pay, you know, the poor person behind the counter, you know, all these ranges of excuses. And the last time we've cruised, we paid gratuities the last time around, and we found we didn't get much service from the higher up people than the lower people. And they say, you know, they have the breakdown of, oh, your room attendant gets this much. Why would I want to give my room attendant, you know, $2.70 a day? I'd rather give him $5 a day, and they make you do nothing. You know, that's the way I see it. And we experienced better service from the people who were the lower people rather than the higher people. And so we've decided this time around not to pay gratuities. We pay gratuities as we go. So for instance, the waiting staff, dining, the bar staff when we get a drink, because we find that service is much more better than the higher up people. And don't get me wrong, the higher up people, they do their job because they're keeping everybody in line, that's what they're supposed to do, but also at the same time you don't see them as much. So we got rid of that, checked about some onboard credit, got our hole punched in our C-Pass. Then we stopped for our first cocktail, and we had an apple caramel martini, very nice indeed. And from that, we had to do muster. Yes, muster. Let me tell you about muster. Muster was... we were stuck on the starboard side and it was hot. We were in the sun. It was hot. Hot. Even though it was, 21 degrees, but it was hot. There was no wind. Fair enough, if it was a bit of wind, it would be okay, but it was just the sun, and it was really hot. And we didn't really appreciate that. The last time around, we were on Voyage of the Seas, and we were in the the Star Lounge, and it was air conditioned, and that was a 34-degree day. That was good. This was a 21-degree day, and we did not enjoy it one bit. So, after we did muster, before we did muster, we made sure that we booked in for our nighttime dining. We booked in for 5:45. We thought we'd just, do early dinner, and then give us a chance to go see the shows and do whatever. So after dinner, or not even after muster, we went and booked a couple of short excursions. We're doing the double-decker sightseeing tour in Akaroa and the Auckland Sky Tower, and the Sky Tower and the aquarium, which we're really looking forward to. I'm not a big fan of heights, but I'm willing to give Auckland Sky Tower a go. And they seem to be quite popular, the double-decker, that when we tried to book it online, it said wait until you get on board. So when we got on board, I just happened to ask. I said, we tried to do it, and the person said, yeah, they've got 3 separate ones on there, but the first 2 were sold out. I'm like, oh great, and how many are left on this one? And says, we've only got 40 spaces left, but he imagines they'll be sold out by the end of the day. So we had to tell people travelling with us that you better book now before you miss out. I'm not too sure if they did, but I think they were going to. So once we'd done that, went back to our room just to see if our luggage was there. One piece of luggage was there waiting for us, but then we had to... we started unpacking a little bit, and I was hearing people saying, oh, there's my luggage. So I popped my head out, took a look, and sure enough, there it was. I saw the porter coming up the hallway with ours, so that was really good. Sort of unpacked, and then we had to go and have dinner. Had dinner, and dinner was really good for a first night. Since I know what Royal Caribbean food is like, I know what to pick for, and I do like to try different things, but also at the same time, what I find is that once you try some different things, not necessarily the best, but you try to stick with what you know is the best. So for instance, starters, I had 3 starters. I had the salmon, it was this some type of shredded up salmon in a mayonnaise sauce. It was really nice and beautiful and smoky and really enjoyable. And then I had the watermelon and raspberry soup. I like that a lot. I've had that before, and that's really nice. And escargot, which was delicious. I absolutely like it. Some people go, ooh, snails, but no, it was actually really nice. So from that, that was my entrees. And then for mains, I had the prime rib, which was really nice, medium rare. really tender, beautiful. And dessert, I had cream brulee and a carrot cake. Just to try the carrot cake. The carrot cake, I really didn't like it. I enjoyed it, but not, oh wow, that's a really good carrot cake. You know, I found some of the ones in Australia much more better. A little bit more, the icing was icing, not a creamy sort of. Yeah, it was really weird. And the sponge wasn't as crumbly, and it didn't have a syrupy taste to it, which I didn't get at all. I mean, yeah, I can understand it's American style, but you know, I think I like the Australian ones that are a little bit more better, lighter. I've got to say they're a little bit more lighter. They just felt, the carrot cake to me felt very heavy in a way, but it was enjoyable. I had about half of it, and that was about it. Cream brulee. Can't go wrong. Cream brulee, nice, beautiful. It was warm, which is the best thing. I like it warm. Some people like it cold, I like it warm, and that was really, really nice. From there, we headed back to our cabin and just finished unpacking. The girls. We've got an interior cabin. Just thought I'd let people know that we've got an interior cabin, quad share. So it's got the bunks up the top. So the little one, she was up top, and she was just absolutely thrilled. But by the time of the end of the day, she was pretty knackered. We finished unpacking. Me and my wife just did that. Our family friend is in the next cabin to us, so I went and had a bit of a chat with him. With the menus, I've taken photos of the menus, and I've also taken photos of all the food that we had that night. So hopefully I can work it into the video. If not, I'll probably stick it on the end, or I do like a separate video log of everything. Overall, the ship so far looks really nice. Just another word on our cabins. Our cabins, we found, because they're interior, when we were on Voyage over the Seas, we had an interior with Voyage of the Seas, and they were a little bit smaller than the ones here. These ones seem much more bigger, a little bit more wider, I should say, because I remember Kerry, she had to walk. She had to slide down the side of the bed, and this one she can actually walk down it. That's pretty good. We've got a fairly big couch, and overall it's not too bad. The bathroom's a standard bathroom. The only down thing about the bathroom is it's got a shower curtain, and I'm not a big fan of the shower curtain. I like the screen. The shower curtain, you probably have to tuck it into the lip, otherwise it spills over, and that's what happened this morning. It spilled over, and I had to clean it up before the girls go in there. That's the only picky thing with it. The ship seems very beautiful. It's very nice. Sort of like she's got a bit of grace about her. Even though Voyager and Radiance of the Seas were pretty much built at the same time, there's a lot of similarities with what's here, but Voyager seems to be more of a activity ship, and I know it's only one day, but Radiance seems to be that destination ship. So it's here to take you to your destinations, to have a good time at your destinations, and in between you get to relax and sit back. There's lots of seating places available. There's lots of places, little nooks and crannies for you to explore and stuff like that. So it's a bit more of a relaxed feel, whereas Voyager was more of a okay, let's do this and let's do that and let's do this. So that's pretty. That's the difference that I find. It's a little bit more relaxed. I find that thing. So when we were at dinner, I've just got to mention with dinner, it was fantastic because when we left, it was dinner time was when we were leaving, so it was magical to see the Sydney Opera House slide past, and then you see the Sydney Harbour Bridge, and then it's coming out of the harbour, going past their heads. I had to sit there and just take it in. It's one of those moments where you say to yourself, "Wow, I'm on a ship coming out of Sydney Harbour." It's amazing, and it's one in a lifetime opportunity if you think about it that way. If you're not doing cruises that often, but I'll treasure that moment very much. So now we are, and as soon as we got out of the heads, it started to become a bit rough and a bit bumpy. Master the captain was saying that we will be having some big swells, between 4 to 5 metre swells, out to Tasmania, so it might get a bit bumpy. Even now in the morning it's still bumpy. Throughout the night there were a few big bumps, but it wasn't too bad. I hope you guys. It is a bit bumpy. I'm here in the Crown Lounge. If you can kind of see behind me and around. This is Crown and Anchor's lounge, I should say, and this is fairly nice. That's a nice little view there of it, the top, and directly behind me, it's a bit freaky. There's a window that goes all the way down, looks all the way down. So yes, so I'll try to find a nice spot in the morning and do a bit of a log. The sun's starting to come up, so that's awesome. I'm just going to do a little bit of a wander around before I head back to the cabin and see if the girls are up. I don't know what we're planning for today. I think it's more of an exploration day and just to see what's going on. So from me, I bid you a farewell, and I will speak to you all soon. Please like and comment below if you've got any comments about the cruise or anything about it. Just comment below and like my video and stay tuned for more. Thank you. Bye.